What's going on, guys? It's Dramon
and Nightwing,
and today we're going to be ranking our top 10 Kobe signature models. Since we've had time in the Kobe 11, we can fairly place it if it penetrates our top 10.
Penetrates.
You know it. Now, before we get into the top 10, we're just going to name the ones that we left out of our personal top 10. What I left out was a combination of shoes that I don't like and didn't even play in. I haven't had the luxury of playing in the Kobe 3, 1, or 2 from Nike. I would like to, but it's just not fair for me to put those on my top 10 over shoes that I've actually played in. Also, the Crazy 2s or the KB2s. The Kobe 10 was a very disappointing model. I can't think of one colorway that I loved. So those are the ones that I left off my list. What are some that you left off yours?
The first 3 from Nike, solely because my list is based off of performance. Those are 3 that unfortunately I never played in. I really want to. I want to play in the 3s really bad. Me and you both agree on that. Kobe 1s, I would love to play in those just for the fact that, I mean, it's Zoom Air and that herringbone traction looks amazing.
I have a pair of them. I can't wear. I
can't help myself not to wear them. So I can't help myself, man. And then the Kobe 2s, there was different versions of that shoe. There was like a light and a strong and all this stuff well before like the 7s and all that stuff. So I left those off for that reason. And then the same reason that I would leave off any of the Adidas models is just because I didn't feel that they were as good performers. Mine are top 10 from best to worst, and the worst on my list is still slightly better than, say, the Adidas line that I did leave off.
Let's just get straight to our top 10. But first, you guys always call me a bandwagoner. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a Laker fan. So this list is very important to me. So you know I had to wear something special.
Time out.
I like the digs, man. But yo, I got something super nostalgic. Are you ready? I got the Kobe jacket, but wait, check this out.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh.
Old school Lakers jersey from 2005. Look at the numbers. Yeah, they're like, this is old.
They don't even look real.
This is old. Do you guys know?
This is a Nike one.
That's how old this is. I got this at Staples Center, 2005. Can you guess the player?
At that time, number 20?
2005.
My NBA knowledge is not as good as you.
Let me give you a hint. Fits like a...
Yeah, so Peyton was my first choice.
Gary Payton, dude.
I couldn't remember.
I wear this jersey around and people think it's fake. They're like, Peyton, what? They don't know.
For real? They don't remember?
They don't remember. I watched the
Are these Laker fans?
Yes, I watched the 08 finals at a bar. People thought I was clowning. Like, they're like, you're not a Laker. I'm like, yo, look at this.
Talk about bandwagoners.
Okay. All right. Top 10 Kobe signature models. Like you said earlier, your top 10 is based purely on performance.
Correct.
Mine is a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Some are placed there because of performance and some are placed there because of nostalgia or looks. So at my number 10, I had to put the Kobe 2 from Adidas. It is a butt ugly shoe. I agree.
It's an Audi for your feet.
Audi for your feet, moon shoes, but I will never forget the day I first saw it. Maui Brew Co. in Lahaina at a bar watching a Lakers game on TNT. The commercial for this came on. It was a corny commercial.
No, I was going to say the Kobe Adidas commercials were actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, they were cool, but this one was not the cool one. This was a different one, and it showed
the Kobe was a dope one.
They showed his head that looked like the crystal skull, right? But I actually did own an OG pair of them, and all of my teammates were clowning me, but they were the all-black pair. In my heart, I couldn't leave the Kobe 2 off my top 10.
Were they as brick-like as they looked?
Yes, they were terrible, but I will say this. They were durable as hell because we had to practice outdoors.
Well, they're built like a car. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they were built like a car. The traction was super thick herringbone that would just, no matter how much I grinded them down, I wore them everywhere, they held up perfectly. So the Kobe 2, I couldn't leave it off my list. What is your at number 10?
Number 10, the Kobe 7. Probably one.
It's a polarizing shoe.
It's hard for me to put that on the worst of, just because visually I think they're gorgeous.
Gorgeous, best colorways like we've mentioned before.
So if we're talking storytelling, the 7 and the 8.
Yeah, no doubt.
Great storytelling. No doubt. Some of the colorways may have been pretty corny and stuff, now that you think back on it, but they still translated well.
Right.
The only one that really comes to mind as horrible corny was the
What about the cheetahs?
Well, see, because I had those, so I got.
No, not the purple one, like the straight cheetah one.
Which one were those? Oh,
they look like a cheetah.
Yeah, the leopard looking.
Those are kind of weird. But if you had the other ones and you put that to fit in your collection, it was like digestible.
See, even still, that one, if you just take away that it was like a cheetah print or whatever, it still looked cool with the white, with the black midsole.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, it was not bad.
Right.
It was a good use of a weird concept. Cushion-wise, one of the most comfortable Kobe's to date. The Cushlon insert was crazy comfortable.
Right. It kind of really solidified that like system, like the drop-in midsole system.
That was
interchangeable.
So that was, what was that? Was that the first drop-in system?
I think the Jordan one.
I think
was the Jordan 2011s.
Okay, that
were the first ones.
Yeah. So the Jordan 2012s, in my opinion, did the drop-in right.
Right.
But the Kobe's were close. So that's my worst, probably of all time as far as what I've played in. I'm sure that you can interchange your 10th pick as maybe one of the worst performing Kobe's. But again, I haven't played in them. So just from my personal perspective, from what I've experienced, Kobe 7, pretty bad, but looking really good.
So for my number 9, I have the recently released Kobe 11. From the 6th to the 11th, it's one of the best looking shoes in that window for me personally. I think it's a very nice design. I don't think it took any bold chances with like how the Kobe 9 did with the high.
Yeah.
You know, I like how it looks. It's clean, the 2 outrigger thing. I really like how the translucent sole, you could see right through it. I just ID'd a pair, which I just reviewed. Check it out. It was a Grinch colorway. I like how the colorway came out, although the materials on it were weird.
The materials were whack.
I know. If you need more info.
Such a rip-off.
Check that out. But again, if you're just looking at the aesthetics, I really like the 11. For me, it's a great on-court performer. I'm using it in my league right now, and I'm having no issues whatsoever. I do have the full-length zoom setup. This is something I like because you get options, right? You do have to order it. The way you get it is a pain in the ass.
Oh, it's not a pain in the ass.
I know.
It's a pain in your pocket.
I know,
like your
but
wallet.
It's nice to have these options because some people like Zoom, some people like Lunarlon, some people like both.
Yeah.
This gives you the option, and if you really like Zoom, you should definitely check it out because it is a good cushion setup in the 11.
My number 9 is an Adidas.
Okay.
It's the only 2 Adidas models I have on my list, and it's the Crazy 1. My initial reaction when I first saw the Kobe 1, I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, who the designed that thing? And then the more that I looked at it, I was kind of like, oh, they're okay, you know what I mean? Because bulky was in back then and all that stuff. And then, and then I got a pair. I got the white ones, and I was like, yo, they were comfortable. The traction was on point. The fit was like super glove-like. It was almost like Adidas's version of a Foamposite. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those shoes where the retro doesn't do the OG justice. You know, just comfort alone, not even close. But they still got good traction, and the upper's still durable and all that stuff. So you're still contained and everything. So you could play in those.
Right.
And I had some really good games in those yellow joints.
Yeah, and the thing I like about that is they've recently gone crazy with the colorways, but the OG ones were simple, clean, and just really good. So let's go right along to number 8, which you had for your 10. For me, it's the Kobe 7. I'll tell you why it ranks on 8 for me in a good way, because yes, I agree. I was not a fan at all of the performance, but like you said, the storytelling and the colorways were so great. I have all the predators, the shark, the frog, the cheetah, the wolf. I have all of them.
You have the Easters?
The Easters.
That's the one where I wish that I grabbed.
And that one really tipped off like the whole Easter theme, which seems to be falling off every year. But that year was a good year for the Easter theme. And so, I mean, the colorways were dope. Some of my, like the shark colorway is one of my favorite Kobe colorways of all time.
Those are really cool too.
Yeah, so that's why I have the Kobe 7 at number 8. What about you? Okay,
so my number 8 is the Kobe 11. That shoe, they had, in my opinion, almost perfect everywhere, except for a little bit too much plastic, the threading. And then the traction to me was like, it was too big of a hit or miss for me to where like I'd play on one court one night and be perfectly fine in them and squeaky and everything and just held like glue. Play on the same court the next night and just be sliding around everywhere. And like I was like,
Right.
I didn't understand what was going on. So, but that drop in midsole is one of the most comfortable things.
For sure.
Man, those and the Kobe 7s, dude. The colorways so far have just kind of been okay, but again, we're talking about performance.
There's only been like 3 and...
Yeah, we're talking about performance though.
Right.
So Kobe 11 though, a good performer except for that traction issue, and I call it an issue because it is a hit or miss thing where I think you didn't have the problem.
No.
Yeah, so it's like it's an issue because it was good for me sometimes, really bad. When it was bad, it was bad. That was my thing. Is like I was like, yo, what the hell?
Those were our number 8s. Going on to number 7 for me. This is one of those shoes that's placed there because of performance. Because I don't really like how the shoe looks, and it's the Kobe 9.
You don't like how they look?
I'm not a huge fan. The big high thing is just.
What about the low top ones though?
The low tops
they're right there. They're beautiful.
They're okay. The tongue to me, I'm not a huge fan of, especially the materials.
It's a little big.
The materials on the tongue, I just don't like.
The pleather?
Yes, the pleather is just, it feels like fake to me. Like Chinese fake.
Like a bad fake.
Yeah, so I don't like that, but the reason why it's placed pretty high at 7 is because that traction is the best traction in the history. I don't think it's disputable. Now, you could say, well, it doesn't hold up outdoors. Well,
who cares?
Who cares? It's so good. The reason why I think it's even better than we think it is because when we first saw it, we're like, that shit's not gonna work.
Yeah, that was one of those times where I was like, I don't know about this. It looks funny. Yeah,
and then we got it and we were like, mind blown. What is happening? It's crazy. It was also the first sneaker to, put Flyknit, albeit not in the best way. It wasn't the best, but it was serviceable, and you could say it was better than the way the 10 did it in some ways.
It was a good first start.
Yeah, exactly. So, the main thing is that they didn't screw it up.
Completely.
Yeah, so that's why the Kobe 9 ranks so high at 7 for me. What do you got?
Mine is actually the Kobe 10 Elite Low.
Okay.
Performance-wise.
Okay.
These are just the shoes I've played in. So I do hold them above the 3 that I've already mentioned. Because, again, kind of like your Kobe 9 thoughts, where that traction for me was surprisingly good. And that's one of the things that I thought was a bummer, is that all of the pairs that I've had fit me differently. I got blisters on both sides of my feet, on like the edges of the toes, under my feet, on the pads, everything. And it was like one of those weird, like, it's the same shoe every time. Like, so I didn't understand what the heck was going on. The cushion was pretty good, but it wasn't like great. You know what I mean? And then the materials, this is why I picked specifically the Elite low top. I just don't like visually the high top look. I look shorter than I already am, and then my legs look really stumpy. The low top regular ones had some of the worst.
Terrible.
We're talking going from the Kobe 9, right? It had the Elite with the Flyknit, and then it had the engineered mesh. And so then, great. Yeah, and then you went from that to the 10 with fake mesh glued on top of plastic, same exact materials as the Kyrie 1
for $180.
What?
Yeah. Ridiculous. Like, that's why it was left off my list.
Oh my gosh.
To me, that's an unforgivable sin. Like,
that
what?
That's like the biggest fuck you from a brand that you can get. And look, man, I know I like Nike just as much as the next person. Same thing with Jordan and all this other stuff. But you have to separate yourself sometimes from this stuff. In a year where the Jordan 29 was coming out,
that's not right. You can't, and you can't be like, well, Nike did. They knew. They're putting out a shoe that's considerably worse in the material section to a shoe that's way better. You just can't have that. That hurts your product. Where we thought that the 9 was a good start, the 10 was supposed to finish it off. Right. In the Flyknit version of that shoe was the same. All right, so the last pick for this video, we're going to be talking our number 6. And for me, I'm going nostalgic. The Crazy 8s. If you just talk about just the 90s, that is the silhouette. And the colorway, the best colorway is literally black and white. Okay, but which one is your favorite colorway? Because the black and white one. Can we just combine our shit because we have the same shoe? Number 6 is the Crazy 8 Adidas. Okay, yeah, so we're on the same page here. But look, no, in the 90s, remember in the 90s, except Jordans, because Jordans had, the red and the stuff. But in the 90s, you had an option. White or black and white. That was your options. Well, the funny thing though is that in the mix of all of this Jordan prime, like the hype of everything, this shoe dropped. It was an Adidas, and it was the only shoe at the time where everybody was like, yo, what are those? Exactly. You know what I mean? It's in a good way. It's a silhouette. that, you know how some shoes there's a silhouette and then there's colorways to that silhouette.
Well,
this one is like
a colorway can make or break a shoe.
Right.
This shoe is just killer.
Yeah, the colorway and the silhouette are like the same thing. You can't separate both. To me, it just captures you.
Which black and white one is your favorite?
Mainly black. With the white
stripes?
Yes.
Okay, because I like the all-star colorway.
Okay.
When I was younger, when I was in high school, I was fiending for that white with the black stripe one.
When you could make a shoe as captivating as that one is in just black and white, you take a win. If the Kobe 11 came out like the black and white ones,
they're clean.
Boom, clean. That makes a shoe.
Yeah.
And so the Crazy 8 to me, it's the most 90s looking thing. It holds up to this day.
Performance-wise, which is why it's on my list at number 6. You can't go wrong with that shoe. That thing is a tank. Playing it inside, playing it outside, whatever you want to do, go for it, because that shoe's going to be able to take it.
That's our number 6. If you want to see our number 5 through 1 picks, stay for the link at the end of the video or in the description box below. Let us know what you think about our 6 through 10s. Is there anything we left off that you would put on?
And make sure that you rank your 6 through 10 however you want, whether it be looks or performance. Just go ahead, rank them in the comments. Don't do your whole top 10 though.
In the next one you do that.
Save that for the next video, because don't spoil it for everybody.
Exactly. But in this video, we're getting serious. Top 5.
This is the real deal.
Real deal. This is the creme de la creme.
This is the you cannot go wrong.
Can't go wrong
with any of these.
Because like we said in other videos, the Kobe signature line, performance-wise,
it's probably the most consistent, period.
It's consistent, but it's the best. It's the best.
People were not agreeing with me, but they